Good morning again, guys. Still Wednesday. All right. Leave it to me to blow holes in the narrative that the government and the media is putting out to everybody. Yes. And I'm going to do it in a way that you guys, average Joe, can understand rather than talk all this gobbledygook that comes out of the Fed and everything like that. Interesting information yesterday that came out. Headline is Bank Deposits Could Drop for the First Time Since World War II. People are putting less money in the bank. Okay. And the Fed and the banks and everything are trying to spin this as, oh, this is a good thing. Okay. But it actually is a good thing. But the way they're spinning it is just complete whitewash here. Okay. Now, supposedly there's $8.5 trillion deposited in the banks. That is more than the banks have out in loans. And you hear all this Fed doublespeak that the banks are turning away depositors because the banks don't want, the loans aren't out there. They don't want to take any more money because they only have so much they can legally hold without moving the money, which is true. Okay. But here's the deal. And this is what I was talking about going back to 1973 when I talked about in a video, a week or so ago, and I showed you what happened to the economy and everything. Some people might argue that bank deposits are going down because the cost of everything is going up, because the people are making less money, whatever it would be. Sure, that may be part of it, okay? But that's part of it. It's not all of it. One of the reasons why bank deposits are going down is because people are paying off their debts, and that terrifies the banks and terrifies the government. Remember, we're a debt-based society. There's hundreds of times more money out there than actually exists, okay? I mean, if you just took all the money that's owed on mortgages out there, there's more owed on mortgages than there is money. Okay, so I mean, it's all a con game here. Borrowed to borrowed to borrowed to borrowed to borrowed, and everybody takes a little cut off the top. Okay, people are paying their debts. People aren't borrowing more money. Okay. I know that's contrary to what everybody, you'll see, oh, credit card debt's going up. People are putting more money on their credit cards because they can't afford stuff. Sure, some people are, okay? But it's not the middle class. The middle class is putting money, the middle class is what drives the economy, guys, okay? It's not the wealthy and it's not the poor. Okay? The middle class is what drives this economy. And this is where they're trying to destroy the middle class. The middle class is coming back and saying, we're smarter than you think we are. So by the middle class paying off all this debt, what freaks out banks is banks now have no way to make money. The less people take out loans, they don't get to charge any interest. The more people pay off their credit cards, the banks don't get any interest, okay? So the less the banks have in outstanding debt, the less they can take in legally in deposits. So they're all going, oh, this is a good thing. There's too much money in deposits anyway. No, there's too much money in deposits because people are taking out less debt, and that terrifies them. Now, this is where it goes back to 1973. The Fed likes to raise rates slowly and incrementally, okay, not chunks at a time. Because, and if you think about it, gas price goes up 2 or 3 or 5 cents or whatever it is. It's okay, fine, gas is up 2 or 3 or 5 cents. But when you go to the gas station and gas jumped 30 cents overnight, you freak out, okay? So interest rates work the same way. If they move interest rates slowly, nobody cares. But if they move interest rates from here to here, people freak out. Well, the American public has gotten a little smarter and sees what's going on. Okay, and again, this is reminiscent of 1973. Raising rates, raising rates, raising rates, raising rates. So they're taking their money and buying tangible goods, which is what we've been talking about for years. Okay, preppers as a whole, and this channel for 2 years, getting out of debt and buying tangible goods. That's what people are doing. And the banks can't make any money. And again, like I said, we're on a debt-based economy. If there's no debt, this destroys their livelihood. No more $600 million golden parachutes for these guys, or whatever the hell would be. The people are getting smarter. And by doing this, what we're doing, the middle class again, is taking our money out of that savings account that on average pays you 0.06%. I mean, guys, literally, okay? If you think about what that is, you're getting paid 6 cents interest on a $100 deposit a year, okay? Whoop-de-doo, okay? Not a whole, not going to make a difference in your life. And we're moving money where they want to move money to, okay? The American public is moving it into money markets, okay? Money market is backed by short-term treasuries, which is causing short-term treasury prices to go up. And Fed's got to raise interest rates. So back to where I was. Sorry, I have a computer sitting in front of me. And of course, you have to have one of these pop-up ads that comes up and starts playing audio. And, of course, if I had that in there, they'd say, oh, copyright violation. But okay. So what's going on is the U.S. public is starting to shift their money to money market. This is what I was telling somebody on the live stream last night as to where to put your money, okay, for safety. Because the Treasury, the money markets are backed by short-term treasuries. Okay? Literally, it's about the only thing they can use. They need the liquidity and they need the safety. So 12-month and less treasury bills. Well, as the Fed raises rates, those rates come up. The banks aren't going to pay out more interest in the savings accounts because they're not making any money from loans, but the treasury bills are going up. So then eventually what happens? Just like 1974, 1975, the only thing the Fed's going to have the ability to do is cut rates. Watch what happens here, guys. We'll see these 50 basis point rate hikes, 25, everything we've told you, 6 or 7 rate hikes this year on the Fed funds rate, bank-to-bank borrowing, okay? You'll see treasuries go up, okay, which is going to freak out the government because, as I've said many times, this is how they borrow money, and they got to pay more interest. Then in order for the Fed to save the government, the only thing they're going to be able to do is cut rates. And the middle class is basically making money off of their idiocy. $8.5 trillion more, or $8.5 trillion more in deposits than there are in loans. The banks are in trouble. The media won't tell you that. The banks won't tell you that. The government won't tell you that. But the debt-based economy is starting to fall apart around them because Joe Average got a little smarter than they are. Because when Joe Average looks at his savings account and goes, I ain't getting paid squat on this, I'm going to go buy something that pays me better or has a better chance of growing, they'll put it in there. Gold, silver. This is also why the stock market's going up. Hey, I'm not making anything in my savings account. I might as well buy something. I'll take the risk, at least I have a chance of going up rather than a guarantee of doing nothing. Eventually what happens is this will also cause the stock market to tank. Mark my words, this is what's going on. The middle class is beating the Fed at its own game. It's not what they're telling you. They're trying to tell you this is a good thing. It is a good thing because Americans are getting out of debt. You'll never see that story. There are plenty of people that are still putting everything they can on credit cards. That's the poor. Okay, they're doing whatever they can to feed the family, whatever. But the middle class is paying off their car, paying off their mortgage, paying off their credit card, getting out of debt, and that panics the government. Interesting, huh? Have a good one. Pinball out.